Bam.
Come on to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. Come on to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. Give praises to Jehovah, from whom all blessing and knowledge will flow. Blessing and knowledge will flow. The Village Talk Show, dedicating to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life, helping each one of us in realizing our dream at any age, any point, starting from today, day. Success. Come on to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. Come on to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. Success is not spoken, it is done. Success is done. Come on now. The Village Talk Show. Talk Show. The Village Talk Show.
Good evening, good evening. Welcome to the Village family. Welcome to another week of the Village. We're dedicated to empowering the community to live a safe, financially capable, and healthy life. Make sure that we're successful. Remember, success is not is done, right? Success is done. I'm tripping up today. That's crazy, right? Success is not spoken, it is done. What are you doing for success? There we go. So what's up, family? How we doing? What's good, Dr. Bryant?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening on this nice, dry evening. So I appreciate that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, the big boss is gonna come up soon. Can't wait. Then applaud. Woo!
I feel this leader.
I'm looking at him in the queue, right?
Absolutely.
Smiling up and everything. So
Listen,
what's good, man? How's the week been going?
so far, so good. I cannot complain. One more day closer to Friday.
Yeah, what's been the highlight this week for you?
Um, I can't even say that out loud, but it's been a great week.
Wait, you can't say it out loud.
Yeah.
What?
No, work has been awesome.
Mm,
I love
okay.
it's been great.
Got you.
Yes.
Okay,
Well,
that's
what
good.
about you?
That's good. I would definitely say similar. I think when being in the classroom and seeing potential and then seeing students really applying it, that really kind of give highlight. Even with students who might be having difficulties in other parts of their life, but just looking at what they're doing and really just being creative, right? And exploring a lot of things that's happening across the world. Like I created this current events assignment, and every week they explore a topic and really show their learning. And so that has been a highlight. Um just really seeing them push themselves. And that's good. And this is middle school. So
And that's a
yeah.
great thing, to actually capture them right away
Hmm.
and to be able to say, hey, you know what? There's more things happening outside of
Right.
just Brooklyn or outside of New York City. There's a lot going on. And,
Right.
think big. And that's what we don't do enough. We don't think big enough. Many times if something don't stretch you, keep you up at night, then it's not big enough. So
Right.
it requires lots of faith. And I think that's important that our students and children need to start having faith in something so that they can see what potential or how far they can go. That's
Right.
important, you know.
That
And when they think, not just saying, "Oh, I just want to be the next basketball player." No, that's too small.
right.
You
I
know,
definitely I definitely think even those things really see the potential and applied can even get them to or inspire them to take actions for the changes they want to see in the world, right? Actions of change.
we
Um,
definitely need new leaders all over, and not just educational leaders or whatever. Like you said, world changers,
yeah.
political changers. We need our young folks to start replacing some of the mentality that's happening. Um,
Mhm.
so we need creativity
Right.
going about all over.
Right. So and speaking of the politics, what's been happening in the political realm?
Oh,
Right. How you feeling about the impending elections coming? I mean, it's our continuous talk. Um, are you looking towards really looking towards it?
it's sad because a lot of people um, are not motivated to go out and vote.
Hmm,
And I've been having conversation with some of my circles, and they're not interested. They're like, "Oh, okay." Um, they automatically assume Trump is going to come back into power and he's going to do the revenge things. How
hmm.
do we know what will happen between now and tomorrow? We don't.
To
And
make
so,
predictions.
yeah, but here's the thing. You can always change something. Whatever you want, you strive for.
Right.
There's no the two political people running is Trump or Biden.
Mm,
So here it is. Whatever you decide, go for it. But
right.
just not go just because, oh, okay, this person's going to win already. So a lot of people did that during different election period and were shocked
Excuse
to
me.
see that the outcome that they anticipated didn't happen.
Right. And speaking of, we saw earlier this week, I believe his net worth increased a little bit.
Who?
Um,
Who network?
Trump, when his social media
Plummet.
company that's attached to this company on the stock market, it skyrocketed a little bit, but then of course it dipped back down. 'Cause people are getting used to this play. People understand what's going on, right? You have people who pump a particular stock, it shoots up, and then you got some who kind of like sell and take their winnings.
Mhm.
So in a sense, the person who the person who kind of like have that attached to their name, they're getting some cash from that. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg, you have Elon Musk. This is why they will get billions within a day,
Mhm.
and then maybe lose billions another day because that fluctuation in the market. um so what did Trump say? Make America great again? How can he make it great again when it was never great? Yeah, that's true. And a perspective too, because for us really it's like what greatness was there, right? Maybe the people who were born in greatness and feel like all of this, um what do you call it, all of this innovation and opportunities for people who are underprivileged, they
Mhm.
might look at that as not so great. That for them that wasn't great, but shoot, things were never great
Well,
for us.
what's interesting, he actually tried to appeal several of the decisions or just have them tossed out. And both of his appeals were like dismissed. Like, no, you
Mhm.
have the hush money, you're going to trial on the 15th.
Right,
Um, Georgia, no, you're going to stand trial. There's
right,
no presidential privileges you have to act a fool. Absolutely not.
right,
So, well, it's good. Reality check is kicking in, you know,
right.
but let's see how far it goes.
And I mentioned too, really, one of the things that was so frustrating is that the media stood on this what's the word I'm looking for? Well, let's look back on the January 6th, what they call that? Was it riot? They call it, I believe, right? The January 6th issue. And I was one of those people who was just like, America. is going to try and stick to this for the years to come until they really get Trump in maybe like prison or fines or whatever it is. And considering how things go in America, really, it's like frustrating that they've been on it for so long that people do get tired. People do get tired of seeing what's going on in the media. Um, but it does, it does, um, it does bring up two reminders or thoughts in a sense that when America is investigating something, they stay on it for the long run, right? And
Hmm.
should they really solve this issue wherein he gets the consequences that he should get because
I
of,
don't think there'll be any consequences.
well, no, but I'm saying though, if he does,
Hmm.
because I kind of think there's not going to be really any consequences, but should he get those,
Hmm.
it's also going to make the people look at it and really say, um, well, there's a lot of things going on, that investigations that we need to stay on and really go through it so that way the crimes and those things can be solved internationally. I think other world leaders gonna be looking at it and be like, well, America really weren't playing. Yeah, they had a president that made them look like an idiot, but they got him in in the consequences he needs to get. So they might have a different perspective, but I do think this is probably gonna continue through even the next year, probably. Maybe it depends on how the election goes, right? I mean, we don't know who's gonna win, but so
It is what it is. Hey, fearless leader, how are you?
so
I
so
am doing okay. Good evening, villagers. How are you?
that's good.
Real excited to be on air
You don't
with
sound
you.
excited, man.
No, I am excited. I'm just looking at some stuff. I was trying to catch some of what you guys were talking about. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Brutus. How you doing? And thank you to all our villagers out there for joining us. Just I was questioning the doctors and some things that I need to look at. I know you're talking about Donald Trump, but before I do that, I want to say I had a roommate while I'm here at the hospital. He's so belligerent. Like I just look at it. It reminds me of the days when I was a teacher, and and or an assistant principal, and the students just walk in and curse out the teachers. That this guy was cursing out the nurse,
Yeah.
cursing out the PCT, and then all of a sudden it was their fault. They were intimidating him.
But he could curse them out. Okay.
Right? Oh, he made it look like he was a victim. So that reminded me of those days when our students made us look like victims. I don't know to all of the extent that you're discussing Trump, but did you discuss the two failed trial pieces that he did today? Did you guys discuss that?
John, bring it
Briefly,
up.
yeah, I brought it up that hey, he must go to trial.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
must be. You know,
yeah.
it, privileges. Just being a president doesn't give you privileges to act a fool and decide what you will do and what you won't do and what you could get away with and what you can't. So it's nice to see, he's facing the music.
Yeah. So that was a major blow for him. Also, Tish James is testing the waters to see
To see what?
if the $173 million bond that was put up for him by the bondsman,
Hmm.
if that was legit. So he still has some um, issues here in New York, in New York, as well.
They should have
Uh,
never dropped it. They should have never dropped it.
who
Mm.
dropped it?
The amount, because they
But
lowered it.
they didn't. I don't know that they dropped it. I just
It was originally he was supposed to come up with 400. Um,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, I did
So
hear
and
something
it
like
went
that.
from 400 to 175. So
that's news to me. I would have to look that up. I just figured
that
that he
was
got a
the
certain.
original. Yeah, that was not the
I know the original was 400. The entire thing of 453.
it would have been nice for him to actually see if he could come up with that. That would have been.
So I mean I've been a little bit out of touch, being in the hospital a little bit. So if you're telling me that, Andre can look that up, to see an update.
Goodness, you know.
Um, I love what Biden.
Yes.
I want to go back a little bit. Uncommitted, you are a problem. Uncommitted, you are a problem. You are one of the worst things that have happened to the United States because you are going up against a president, disparaging a president to get what you want, to let in a Republican to be president. Because what you say about Joe Biden, you cannot take back. What you do, you cannot take back. You cannot say we only said it because we wanted relief
Mm.
in the Gaza Strip. When you disparage the president of the United States, you cannot take it back. And again, as I said 3 or 4 shows ago, unless there's a red wave of uncommitted, what you're doing is stupid. It is the dumbest thing that I've heard, especially since you know that the red president is not interested in the Gaza Strip and the people of Palestine. Right? They are extremely clear that they're not. Right?
Hmm. So the uncommitted. It was interesting. Very, very interesting.
And what
But
made I was saying what made it interesting.
so you know who's pushing the uncommitted? Independent voters. That's the independent party that's
Mhm.
pushing the uncommitted flyers so that Democrats can vote uncommitted. Is being promoted by the independent party.
Mm.
Say it again.
It's being promoted by the independent party.
There
The
is no independent party in America.
Well, that's what is being promoted. It's for people to join the uncommitted. They were the one giving out the flyers.
There is no independent party in America because no independent party in America will ever be president of the United States, not in our lifetime.
But there's an independent party, okay? Because you can either go
There is no
Democrat.
But I
independent.
guess in a sense that like
I,
null
I
and void in a
understand.
sense.
I understand that in there are numerous parties
Mhm,
in the United States. There are a whole bunch, right? Independent, uh, libertarian,
mhm,
anarchy, working families, right?
mhm,
The whole nine. I understand that there are all of these parties, but
mhm.
in the reality of voting in the United States for president,
Yeah.
no independent this is not.
Did you not hear what I said? I said that's who was pushing people, Democrats, to vote uncommitted. That's what I said. So there are different reasons why people are pushing that agenda. So the agenda behind it was from a certain party that was pushing for people to vote uncommitted.
But that's
That's
the point that I'm making. You're saying the independent party, and I'm saying that
Really.
in the presidency there is no independent party,
Incoming.
and not in independent parties only count in areas where there's a three-party system, and there's not that many. There's none in New York City. There is none, and a lot of times what you have people do is they get elected as one party and then decide that they're going to go to the other. Like a few years ago, you had the Independent Democrats, right? And all four of them lost their seat, right, when they formed the party of the Independent Democrats.
Feel like as we know, they do the independent to not have any ties in a sense or
Yeah,
association with like policies of the two opposing parties. But I think, man, if you only have the two parties, you should really just say I'm gonna run as one and really put your points outward, like put your points out there. So that way, like, yes, you still going to have to work with whoever you whichever party you unknowingly win. But you don't have to become uh you you can still have like your own views and the things that you want to fight for in a sense, and still be running for one or the other.
Right. I mean, like we've said, that, again, people, it's okay to have independent views, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's okay, and there's nothing wrong with having independent views and independent ideologies. But when it
Right.
comes to politics, the um, the role um, that you play, right? The role that you play, um, in power, right? The role that you play in the role that you play in politics as an independent is less, because what you have, even the independent senators, right? Even independent senators, they they caucus they caucus with their affiliated party,
Mhm.
right? Right. And so the reality is that um, you have. I'm just trying to look up this person while we talk.
Who are you
Yeah,
looking up?
one of the independent Democrats. I just want to confirm that he had passed.
Mhm.
Okay.
Young guy. Jose Peralta. Uh, um,
Okay.
Yeah, he died 2018.
yeah, he died in 2018. He
So
had an
7 years.
ear infection.
You said an ear infection?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
So going back to Donald Trump, he was ordered before to pay the 454 million plus interest. So when he went to the appeals court, that's when they dropped it down to 175 million.
Okay. So the appeals court dropped it down.
Mm-hmm. But
Okay.
originally it was 454 million
Yeah. So
plus
so
interest. Mm-hmm.
so going back to what I was saying about Biden, um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that he did take a stance and asked Netanyahu
Yes.
to tell him that he will be sanctioned. Hold on one
Oh.
second. Hold on one
Mm-hmm.
second.
Good
Hey, Dr.
evening.
Clark, how are you doing?
Oh. Thank you, listeners, for listening. But I am happy that he did finally take a stand. Um, all of those 7 or 6 individuals that passed away senselessly trying to feed people, trying to save
Mhm.
some of the people who are hungry, they didn't deserve that. They did not
Mhm.
deserve to be bombed in the manner that they were killed, trying
Yeah.
to feed people. So you volunteer from all over and to say, hey, I'm doing this humanitarian work and they're hungry. When you look at the pictures and the videos of some of the family, you're seeing the bones on their face. They haven't eaten or drinking in days. And here it is, finally. And on, they had mark areas. They notified the military, this is what we're driving, this is what we're doing, this is how we're going. We put a mark on top so not to attack, but you still attack. So that was vicious. That was really vicious. And please, I am tired of people saying, oh, it was an accident. Killing millions of people, killing thousands of people is not an accident.
Before I move on, Dr. Clark, I missed the opportunity for us to hang out during Champs. They wouldn't let me come to Jamaica, so I want to apologize for that. I was so excited, and then they said to me, "I can't travel." So no traveling for me for a little bit. Hopefully, I'm able to make another trip so we could all hang out and have a good time. The issue um, with the Gaza situation
Mm-hmm.
is separation, separating guilty from not guilty.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Who is part of this war from who is not?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Netanyahu had vowed to destroy Hamas, but is it really Hamas that you're destroying, or
Exactly.
are you destroying people, innocent lives in the Gaza Strip? Everybody in the Gaza Strip
It's not Hamas.
not been, will not be Hamas,
Right.
and to treat all of them as such is a disgrace.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the tough talk will lead to. I know that in Israel they're calling for early elections. Hopefully that comes to something. I don't know the answer, right? And they have true work out, true understanding of what it is, what it can be, right? And so this is just crazy though. You know, on a different subject, I was watching this video about the migrants. I should probably send it in the group. And I'm so disturbed, like, um, I'm so disturbed by so many different things that is happening. But before I do that, I want to address something. Karen, our friend Karen, and I were having a conversation, and so I want to bring it up. Karen, who's extremely left, we always argue certain points, but when somebody's right, you give them their due credit, whether you left or right.
Mm-hmm.
There is an issue. Now, I will admit that it's not at the level that Karen is making it out to be,
Mm-hmm.
but there is an issue in New York, ladies and gentlemen, in the United States, of
Mm-hmm.
house
Of what?
house stealing.
Oh, okay. 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 Mm-hmm.
Hey, Karen, how you doing?
Is
Not
this
Karen,
what you're speaking
not the
about?
same Karen, not the same Karen, not the same Karen.
Are
Oh,
you
okay.
are you talking about squatters, the squatters' rights, the
Hold
issue with
on,
that?
I'm not, in this case, I'm not talking about squatters' right.
Oh,
I'm
Oh,
talking. I'm
stealing the
talking
deeds and everything.
about stealing the deeds.
Mm-hmm. And
Somebody
that's
was
been around for a while,
right.
especially with elderly folks. They do take advantage. Or you have people who would say, hey, you're about to go into a short sale or whatever. Hey, sign it over or whatever. And they have no intention of helping you because you're vulnerable. You're willing to.
No, Karen, it's not you. It's not you. It's not
You're
you.
vulnerable. You're willing to try to save your house, but not everybody have the
Yeah,
right
yeah.
intention.
People, and that's one, right? So
Mhm.
people go in and you sign off on your house. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying it to you again. If the money sounds too easy, there's something rotten about it. And some of us, unfortunately, are damn greedy. So you never had any money. Somebody come to you and say, "I'm gonna give you 200,000. I'm gonna give you 300,000." It sounds good. You never had any money, so you're gonna take them up. Oh, I need the money. You think they don't know you need the money?
Mhm.
They dangle
Like
low hanging
carrot.
fruits in your way, and you give up your property.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about people, and this reminds me that you need to have a will. Black people,
Yes.
you need to create a will. You need to give the house to whoever you want to leave it for, so nobody can thief it. Families go to court all the time because you go into probate, you go into these different things
Mhm.
about the guns, I mean, about what you own, right?
Mhm.
about things that you want to leave to people, but you don't want to do a will because say, "Me don't want nobody kill me, so I'm not going to do a will." House stealing can come from that because the government is going to own your house, so you need to have a will. Second of all, nobody should be in. There's so much things going on that and they prey on the elderly and the needy, the elderly and the needy and the greedy, the elderly, needy, and greedy. Okay, those three people
Greedy. I love
get
that.
get suckered in. The elderly because partly because you can't be bothered. You're very sick. You don't have somebody who's supposed to be taking care of you aren't taking care of you or isn't taking care of you. You need to have a proxy. You need to put your stuff in trust, right? Have a ward of the state that covers your property, your this, that can make sound decisions for you. There's nothing wrong with placing your property in a trust and get an income from your property. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with having a will. Nobody should come and offer you. If anybody coming to give you a bag of money for anything, something
Run.
wrong with it. Stop being greedy and needy. Okay? Don't talk about gentrification if you're selling your house. If you're selling your house and you're not selling to a person of color, you're selling it to the highest bidder, don't talk about gentrification because you're part of the problem, not part of the solution. The second thing I want to talk about, I don't know if you, the scamming, right? The Social Security scamming. If you are in doubt, call a professional. Call Social Security. Somebody calls you, take a number, take a name, call Social Security and said, Roderick Daly called me about some insurance payment on my Social Security. I'm just giving an example. Roderick Daly called me about some insurance payment on my Social Security. You'll know, ladies and gentlemen, that Social Security does not call you.
Just like IRS, they don't call you either.
They don't call you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Anything is done in writing. And if you're uncertain, right, and not for nothing, right? Not for nothing, little for something. Exactly. Not for nothing, right?
Nothing for nothing, very little for something.
Yeah, right. So if you, anytime you question something, somebody says, "Give me $200," or let won't you cash this check for me and I give you $500. That's a scam. Why the person can't cash their own check, right? Why the person can't cash their own check? Why you ever thought about that? Where did you get this check for $5,000 from? And with $5,000, you could open an account. Oh, I need you. No, it's a scam. They're gonna take the money out of your account,
You're gonna be left dry.
and then you are gonna be left with $500. Whereas now you're gonna lose $4,500, and it's a crime, right? Because you cannot knowingly cash false check. You can't do that. So you not only are you being greedy, you're also going to end up with a criminal record because you now become the scammer. So, what is it? Nothing for nothing and little for something. Something like that. What did she say? Nothing for nothing, very little for something. Right. Okay. So, if you allow yourself to be, somebody sends you a letter, an email. Dr. Bryant, I am stuck in Canada and I need some money.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, ladies and gentlemen, there's WhatsApp. Call Dr. Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Bryant, did you send me and why would Dr. Bryant be sending you an email? And first of all, Dr. Bryant is not stupid enough to send her account number via email to begin with.
That's so true.
Okay? You understand? So question those things. You know how many people have been scammed 3,000, 2,000, 5,000, and I'm listening, right? The scammer call you from Jamaica with a sweet British accent. So, ladies and gentlemen, the village is telling you, as a member of the village, be cognizant of these scammers.
IRS,
Social
Social
Security,
Security.
housing, right?
Mhm.
Housing, right?
Mm.
Um, just and just I had an elder gentleman who was scammed of $25,000. Your child was in your grandson is going to be arrested, and you need $25,000 for bail. First of all, the court is not going to call you.
That's so true.
Right?
Reverse mortgage, colonial pen, all exploit the elderly. Can't have accounts if you're not 62. That's true.
Right. You I, I'm not. I'm. Oh yeah, Zelle deposits only. Right.
Oh, yes.
Because those
Now
are
they're putting notifications to say, hey, if you send a transaction, we're not going to be able
right.
to click off on that. You know, so many people got scammed for that. Or especially now with IRS season happening with your tax return, people water washing the checks.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I was it today or yesterday? Use a blue ink because you can't water wash that.
Right. Okay.
Like um, uh, 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 that seep through like a marker type, but everything else actually they can wash it off.
People, ladies and gentlemen, free money is greed money. Okay. I'm using the word greedy. We're too greedy and too needy. You know, I got a scammer that called me, and he's like, "Mr. Daly, um, we have this money for you, and you need to give us, I don't remember the number. I think it was like 1,500. You need to give us $200, right, to release this money to you." So you know what I told him? I said, if I have this much money, you go ahead and take what you need to take out of the check,
And
and
then
then send the rest to me.
yes,
Oh, but Mr. Daly, you need to send us the money so we can. If the money is there, I didn't earn it. So since I didn't earn it, you can take your share and send the rest to me as free cash either way.
never heard back from them.
Never heard back from them.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, needy is greedy. You got to learn to earn, right? And stop envying what other people have.
That's so true.
Because that leads to the needy and the greedy, right?
And many,
Keep track of your bank statements. Absolutely. Absolutely, Eddie. Right? Keep track of your bank statements. Just pass them off as waste paper, right?
that is true.
Yes.
That
Yes.
happens often. Don't
That
just
happened to people where their bank account was completely deleted.
mm-hmm.
Deleted.
And go into it. Go into it, check, see what's happening. If you notice a transaction that's not correct, address it, and that's why they're saying right now, hey, instead of having the check mail to you for a tax return, have a direct deposit.
Yeah. Oh, I don't want nobody to keep track of my money. Yeah, nobody keep track of your money, but you won't be getting that money.
Exactly.
Then you're gonna call IRS, and IRS is gonna be like, "Oh, we sent it out already." Yeah. To whom?
And
Right.
make sure you have the right information when you're given that direct deposit information, because once it's gone to the wrong account, God help you in trying to get that back.
That money back. Absolutely. And sometimes that person who used wrong account don't want to release that money.
That's
Right. They don't want to release that money. So, ladies and gentlemen, the village is informing everyone, right? Needy is greedy, right? And greed cause you pain. And so you can't be complaining because you are greedy. The bottom line is, if you're is one thing if you're 85 years old and have dementia and senility and any of those different things, wherein you can't do anything about, you don't know what you're doing. And by the way, scammers are in your family. Your own kids can rob you of your social security.
Mm.
Your own kids can rob you of your money. I know of families where the children go into their parents' account and just spend the parents' money. Is nothing wrong with creating a trust that covers your money and pays you every month. Put your building in a trust that collects the rent every month. So you have somebody who takes care of it, and you put in your trust who's your executor, who's your this, who's your that. So there's nothing wrong with it. Economics is very, very important. And nowadays, we're living longer, right?
Mhm.
We're living longer than what was expected. If you're a very healthy person, you're
I
sick.
don't know if that's so true, because I find that people live longer years ago.
No,
Nowadays,
that's
our
absolutely unequivocally not true. That's unequivocally
I disagree with you.
no.
The thing is, I find that with crime happening now,
No.
people are
Okay,
living
don't do fear
shorter.
mongering. Don't do fear mongering.
I'm not doing fear
Yes, you are.
mongering. No,
Crime has gone down.
no.
Wait,
But
hold
you
on,
know what?
hold on. Crime has gone down
Really?
tremendously in the United States and in New York. It doesn't mean that crime doesn't happen. Murders don't happen. That has happened over time. But the amount of people dying from gun violence, from murders, from stabbing, we see the sensationalized stabbing and killing on TV. You're doing fear mongering. The life expectancy rate of American has now increased to 70.5 years old.
What was it before?
It was
50?
70, no, it was 74 or 76 for Caucasian, right? But life expectancy has increased. Not nothing, because you didn't have the same level of modern medicine that you have then that you do now. So life expectancy has increased. Now, what happens for us is as we get older, right? I'm in my 50s. Eddie and Wenda are both in their 60s. I know they're older, but I'm going to say 60s, right? You see more deaths. You see more people dying, but it's
So here
not.
it is. Life expectancy have gone down.
It
It
has not.
actually was
Look it
down.
up. Look it up. Yes, right. Come on that side. Go on that side, please. You're gonna be on TV. um, you look it up and you see. Look, yeah, they're coming in with my dinner. And Carmelita,
Always, always.
Carmelita is awesome.
Every
Uh,
time I speak to Roderick, he has food around him, surrounded by food. You
and he said,
actually are excited going back to the hospital to get waited on all the time.
huh? I need some ice water. Right. Well, it's dinner time at the time of the show. What do you want me to tell you? It's
Oh,
dinner time. Thank you.
so in regards to life expectancy, people definitely live longer now
Yes.
than then. And I mean, it's because of advancement, especially when you think of technology, like people used to go like when they're trying to get health and stuff, you go after like family, just people talking in the family, like like how we grow up in the Caribbean, go drink tea if something happened to you,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So, but now there's like the more research there is, there's that expectancy. People are able to, the predictions live longer.
So,
Not to say old time
well,
herbal,
Old time remedy is generally for short term disability. Like if you have a little headache or a little belly ache, you might drink some Cerasate to help with the diarrhea. But
Yeah.
if you have something wrong with your stomach, that medication only covers it. It doesn't heal whatever the problem is.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know.
It
I
goes straight to
It's
facts.
good.
you know
It's
why?
good.
I'm
Look at the
grateful.
blue.
I come from a family that live long, so I can't complain about that. in regards to. So that's where I'm looking from that life expectancy.
See, when people, I have a friend that does that. It annoys me to no end. Whenever you state a fact, we know that they're outliers to a fact. There's somebody who's there's somebody right now who's 117 years old, and I just know somebody who lost their baby at a week old. They're outliers to the conversation. But when you take the 117-year-old and you take the 1 week old and you average it out in life, there are more people living longer. People are still dying of gunshots. Like this morning, in South Africa, they killed a soccer player, 24 years old. They shot him in the chest.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Luke Fleur. Right? They called the carjacked him and they killed him. He's 24 years old. He's not going to be at the life expectancy rate.
Right.
One of my former students died a couple weeks ago. She was 39 years old of cancer.
Oh, boy.
Right? And so there are, when is the 5th?
Tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
What happened?
I'm not going to make it to the funeral. You have outliers. My student parent who passed away, she was 50. She was born in 1967,
Mm-hmm.
and she passed away of cancer. So you have your people who are going to live below. My grandmother was 94 when she died.
My grandmother was 98. No,
Right.
99.
Right. Andre's grandmother was 77 when she died.
Mm.
So she was right at the marker.
Is that your grandaunt?
Yeah. She's not my great aunt. She's my aunt.
Right.
Right. So, and I had one aunt who died at 74. Right. My auntie got to live to 89. So you're gonna have people above and below the norm. Right now, all of my aunts and uncle on my mother's side are above 70. Every single one.
Mm-hmm.
Right. 6 of them are alive, and all 6 of them are above 70. Okay.
That's a blessing.
Right. And I would say that they're in fairly good health. Would you say that, Andre, that they're all in fairly good health?
Yeah.
All right.
Live a long life.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, anything can happen.
That is true. That is true. Each day is a blessing. Each
Right.
month is a
And
blessing.
it's precious, right? It's very precious.
Mhm.
So moving on.
Yeah.
Let's do commercial first. And then move on.
Footprints Cafes now offers Caribbean flatbreads, available in 11 mouth-watering flavors, including favorites like jerk chicken, curry chicken, honey garlic chicken or shrimp, ackee and saltfish, garlic cheese, and more. Our flatbreads are satisfying and can be enjoyed by the entire family. So make it a flatbread night at Footprints and enjoy the fusion of flavors. These flatbreads are so good, you might just have to fight for that last piece. Good thing there's plenty more where that came from. Get yours today from any of our Footprints locations. Want to enjoy your flatbread at home? Then order on Uber Eats and get it delivered right to your door. We'll see you there.
Call Howard Housing Solution today for all your real estate needs. Sellers, we can get top dollar for your home, and our vast network of professionals can facilitate your move and help you purchase your dream home in another state. Buyers, we have a pulse on the market and can get you in a home quickly. Property owners, we can manage your property efficiently and allow you peace of mind. So why wait? Call Howard Housing Solutions today at 646-825-5560 for your sale, purchase, or property management needs. Conveniently located in East New York, Brooklyn. You can come to us at 577 New Lots Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, or we can visit in the comfort of your home. Call Howard's Housing Solutions today at 646-825-5560. Howard Housing Solutions. Real estate simplified.
Want to get your personal income tax, business corporate tax, self-employment tax, quarterly tax, payroll tax, or sales tax filing done professionally?
Yeah.
Call U.S. Spirit LLC 718-676-0519 and take the worry out of your personal and business life. Tax compliance issues should be left to the pros. So when you want your business to grow, call the pros because a successful business matters. U.S. Spirit LLC also handles accounting, bookkeeping, business startups, consultation, real estate, and many more services. Call U.S. Spirit LLC 718-676-0519 and ask for Howard DaCosta, CEO, to book a 1-hour evaluation at no cost to you. Take remote control of all your needs and U.S. Spirit LLC will follow your lead. Want to work but don't have a social security number? Yes! Find out about getting a tax ID to pay your taxes. Call U.S. Spirit LLC or log on to www.usspirit.com. Team up for success.
So you catch me in between
Yeah. I wipe them out.
in between having my beautiful sandwich, right? So I wanted. Where's Andre? I need Andre for this one. So I sent in the group investment. Somebody sent it to me, and I thought it was a good thing to share. So Andre, you're always talking about investment. You want to share those 7 things?
The group, you said? Or is
Yeah.
that a video though? Was a video? I don't think I was able. Let me see.
It wasn't a video. It was a chat. It said
Oh.
7 things.
I guess I probably could even like highlight some things.
Yeah.
All right. So seven things that but I said that start building wealth like the rich. So great seeing you earlier. So the first thing they say is diversify investments. So essentially, really, don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, right? So even the stock market itself is a good place to go, but also you got real estate. A lot of people get on the cryptocurrency craze. You have that. You have a bunch of different investments that you could put your money into. But as always, as I say, do your due diligence. And if you're not sure, you get a financial advisor because we're just giving information. We're not financial advisors. The second thing is focus on growth over gains. Essentially, long term. Go for the long term rather than a short term. Short term is that fast money mindset. You may lose quickly, but over time, if you invest, monthly, bi-weekly, you take a piece of your check and you put it in your investments. It's like you pay yourself first. And I'll say this, maybe, like if you can pay your tithe, you definitely can pay yourself. All right. I know, people in my family, they're like heavy on that 10% tithe. And I mean, they're so dedicated to it. It's amazing. Dedicate your some part of your money to yourself as well, right? Give the Lord his, you give yourself yours, and with the rest, your bills and your joy and all those things. So, but yes, focus on growth for over the long term. Becomes beautiful gains. Third thing is tax advantage accounts. So leveraging a tax advantage account, another strategy. You have, for instance, 401k or TDA as a teacher, and Roderick really kind of let me notice itself, tax deferment. So you have that. That's money going into your TDA before it's taxed. So tax deferred, it's taxed later on. And then again, correct me on this, Roger. At retirement, you're gonna be making less in a sense. There's an expectation, so your tax
So
bracket will
so
be low, right?
so the basic point on the TD and the tax deferred annuity, whichever one you're using, it's called a tax deferred annuity.
Mm.
So all of your money now will go into investment. So all of it will go into investment. All right. So
Kevin, that should be 20%, 10% tied and 10% for your investment.
right. So so in other words, if I put $100 in right now,
Mm.
they're investing $100 into whatever, and on my check, I reduce my check by $100, and I'm not paying taxes on that $100.
Mm.
If I'm doing a regular investment and I do $100 and you pay in your taxes, which is 15%, right? 15%,
Mm.
and you're paying Social Security and all the rest of the things that you pay out of that $100. That investment amount might end up being $75. So you're not doing, so that $25 which you could have been making money on, you lose it, right? You lose that money. So now you have to move that money, right? You have to move that money and lose that money later on. So you can make multi-million dollars. You could make multi-million dollars on your TDA, but you will make significantly less if you don't do it tax deferred, right? So you have to do your money tax deferred, so this way you make more money on the money that you invested.
Here's the other one too, the Roth IRA. So you can also invest in that, and that money grow tax. You don't pay tax on the gains. You just can't take it on till you retire pretty much. So even that itself, the money grows and pretty much when you retire, you can still get that, and you don't pay tax on that because it's already tax money is what you put in there, right? You get your pay, you get tax, take money from that, you put in there, and the gains itself grow. Um, the next one is house hacking. Still gotta really kind of build some knowledge on that, but more so like if you if you have a multifamily, you rent out one unit, you live in another, you're able to pay the mortgage from that angle. Invest in CDs and money market funds. Um, they got the other one starting early, and starting early is always good. All right, you start later, you can't be as risky. So the earlier you start, you may be able to take some risk, and then even bounce back a little bit later after. But if you start late, it's harder to really take those risks because you got to be thinking about other payments. And then stay in the course. It's all about discipline. All right. I know people can be investing in the stock market and they see the market go down, they see that those red red dollars and the panic starts happening,
They
the
take it
blood
out.
boiling, worry and concern. But if you really look on like index funds and ETFs, I mean the market goes up more than it goes down. All right. So you just have to be just look for good companies, look for good index funds, ETFs, and I mean look for good companies to invest in. And anyway, this due diligence, always do your research. All right. So
Hey,
there's
John.
Okay, welcome, welcome. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good
Good.
evening.
so yeah, those were some 7 tips on real
So
investment.
the housing component is that I understood it to mean investing in housing helps you to gain significant income,
Mhm.
right? So we have to learn to invest in houses in our right in our housing market, right? And buying properties. And then again, ladies and gentlemen, you're never too old to invest. But like Andre stated, the older you are, the harder it is to invest, right? Invest at the larger portion. So the younger you are, learn to take risks. Families, parents, take the risk and buying your kids a house, mortgage your house and buy a house, right? Because if you make that investment to that child, you don't have to worry about later on making an investment for the child, right? Um, right. So me buying a house, I mean, once it's all about affordability.
Yeah,
What
you
can
have
I
to be
afford?
careful too. Right. You have to be careful
Yeah.
where you purchase.
Well, it's not about where you purchase. You have to decide your own market, right? So it's your own market where you want to do it. I'm not going to tell somebody where to invest your money, where to buy a property.
Oh
But
no, I would never say that. But you know what? Right now, with how the market is up and down, you have to pay attention to where you purchase. You're not going to purchase $1 million property and then it drops less than $1 million. Some
well,
of
yeah, that's why Andre reminded everyone. Thank you.
do your due
That's why
diligence.
about long term versus short term investment. If you're looking for a quick turnover, that's not a good idea. But if you're looking, no property depreciates in value over extended period of time. None, zero.
Well, I'll tell you this. During 2005, 2006, a lot of the people that purchased at a certain rate, and during that time, the housing market went down. The
Again, wait,
property value was not what
I
they had.
agree that
Mhm,
property value can decrease in value. I
mhm.
agree with that. What I'm saying is that over time, the property value, that's why it's long-term versus short-term investment, right? Long-term versus short-term investment. Over time, the property value, I've never seen it in my lifetime
Mhm.
that over an extended period of time, right? Over an extended period of time, that a property has lost significantly more than the purchasing price. John, your
Oh
thoughts on that?
yes, it has happened.
No, Love Canal, up in Love Canal when they
Detroit
were.
was the only place I think of where the property that you
Well, I
could.
think it was also in New York, up in New York where they had they deposited those the property values went down.
Yeah, right. Okay, right. So, Chris wrote $1 Baltimore houses. That's very
Yeah,
interesting, Chris. How comes you didn't tell me about this investment for $1 houses?
that's been around for a while, just like Philadelphia and a couple other places.
Right.
So yeah.
Wait. Why are we talking about this now and nobody ever told me about no $1 houses? Chris, please
Well,
send me the link.
you there's a lot of places that actually the city no longer wants to take care of it, that they will actually sell it for $1 very cheap,
But,
but you're
but that's different from
hmm
that's different from that's different from private houses.
okay. All right, Roger.
Right. Um, yeah, David, Michael, yeah, David, Michael, Chris just said about the Baltimore houses. There are yeah, I agree. There's certain times when the property value has decreased. Right. There's no arguing that. Or like when they found out about the predatory lending back in what's that with John 2005
2006, 2000, yeah,
in that
2000,
era when they
2007.
had that, and so the property value didn't raise anything. So people were having the house. They bought the houses. Found out the houses were $50,000-$60,000 less than what they bought them for.
Let me I was looking at a property yesterday that the person had listed it for 2 million. Yeah, 2 million and something. The block is not worth 2 million. It is 1 million, but they actually inflated. They purchased. They wanted quick turnover rate or whatever, and listed it for 2 million. They wanted. Some of their neighbors were excited. Oh, okay, we can sell for 2 million. But guess what? Nothing. There's no comps for 2 million. And if it does sell for 2 million, what do you think is gonna happen to your property tax? It's going to go up. So
Kevin wrote that they were $1 houses, but they recouped their money on property taxes. So there was a catch.
Always
So,
catch, my friend.
so these are government houses, Kevin, out there in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, the balloon market. The point is,
Same thing is happening now if you don't pay attention, because the $1 million property that they had listed a couple of months ago is now worth 600. So, these wonderful quick scheme that people are trying to put no fixture. They purchased the house at 200,000 and then they're trying to sell it for $1 million and did absolutely nothing to it. Please, all that is coming to.
well, I think one of the things that we say on the show, and we'll continue to say on the show, is that buyer beware.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You have to be very cognizant
Hmm.
of what you're doing.
Correct.
Right? And that's exactly correct. So again, remember what I started out the show that said, right? Need is greed. Right? So if you're too greedy, you overlook many things. Right? And I think Wenda wrote, nothing is nothing, little is something. Right? So if you saw the property at $100,000 and you know that the property should go for $400,000, why is the property going for $100,000? Right? You need to ask yourself that question. And some of us just want to live. I want to say I live in East Elmhurst, New York. So I'm willing to overpay for this property because I want to say this is where I live.
Mm-hmm.
So you overpay and you don't pay the market value. Some people know that they can get the market value for the property.
But you know what, but Roger, it's the same thing. If you're getting a mortgage, the bank is going to have you appraise the property, and it has to meet a certain criteria level in order for them to loan you the money. So if they think that the property is not worth it, they're not going to give you the amount that you are looking for. So
right, so
you have to appraise it. That's why that was a big thing with the whole crash, because people were appraising houses for more than what they were worth, and then getting mortgages on it. And then basically the house wasn't worth what the mortgage was worth. The house may be worth $600,000, but they were given a valuation of $1 million. So they would, have that mortgage, get it, and then take the additional the difference, and then the next thing you know, they're gone.
Yeah, and many of those houses that they were purchasing with no doc loans. So now,
that's right.
Yeah,
that's correct.
So you still can do a no doc loan, but there's some regulations around that.
Correct.
And the other thing, for first time home buyers, while we're talking about that investment component, one thing that two things. First time home buyer, you automatically get a lower down payment. What you choose to pay is what you can afford, right? So you can get 3%, 6%, whatever that low, whatever number is, right? You speak to you speak to the housing person. The second component is that the mortgages don't go up, rent does. The only thing that goes up is property taxes, right? So mortgage don't go up, the rent does. So whatever your mortgage is going to be that over a lifetime.
It depends on what type of mortgage you take.
Your mortgage don't go up.
It depends on what type. If you take a fixed rate,
you're right. I stand corrected. Yeah, a variable versus a fix.
Yeah.
You could back load some of the payment as time goes by.
And that was some part of the problem before.
Right. So and the things that affect how much you got to pay is the term of the mortgage. So 30 years, 15 years, 40 years, 20 years, right? That affect how much you got to pay. But the fact of the matter is that your rent will increase astronomically. If you have a fixed mortgage, it doesn't increase. What does that mean? That means that if you pay it off early enough, right? If you pay it off early enough, then you don't ever have to pay rent. You just have to pay taxes. If let's say you buy your child a house at 25, 15-year mortgage, at 40, the child is done. The child is responsible for their own mortgage, right? 30-year, at 55, the child is done. At 40 years, at 30 years, at 55, the child is done. At 40 years, at 65, the child is done paying for that house. right? Not only that, the house appreciates in value over a 40-year period.
Right.
House in New York is going to appreciate. So the child will have equity in the house if they want to send their kids to school. If they want to do this, they have money that they can take out and borrow against. Second of all, you have less to worry about. You have less headache because you're already giving your child. Well, some kids are still greedy, right, and still expect more from you, even though you bought them the house. That can't help that, right?
Right.
But at the same time, you have now set your child on their own generational wealth, right? Which is one of the things that we speak about. So the longer you take to buy a house, the more you have to pay for that house. And nowadays rent
goes up every year.
Is not only does it go up every year, but it's as much as it's sometimes more than mortgage.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Listen, I went into a apartment in Harlem. Was it in Harlem? No, in the Bronx. It was $9,000 a month for rent.
Nine what?
You heard me. 9,000. I saw a $9,000 one, and I saw a $7,000 one.
Wow. I mean, and that's not Midtown Manhattan.
No, that's in the Bronx.
We're in the Bronx. We're in the Bronx.
I would like to know in the Bronx that is.
Oh, I'll send that to you.
Like Bronxville, Whitestone.
No. It's not too far from 3rd Avenue. It's not too far from Harlem.
We're on 3rd Avenue.
All right. I will send that to you. Let me get the thing. But when I tell you the property,
right, Kevin, because some people look like backloaded and they feel like they take the variable because later on they will think about financing and get a fixed rate. That's why they take the variable. Like a lot of people do that. So if you take a variable over, so 10 years from now you refinance and get a fix. People do that all the time. Because remember, it's backloaded the amount of money that you're going to pay when the interest rate is going to go up. You get it low, and it gets high. So you 5 years you refinance whatever the case is, as opposed to a fix. That's what happened. I don't know if it's a good idea. I have no clue about your pocket. You decide what your pocket says. You know, so just a little things to help everybody on the investment. So I go back to anything else on the topic before I move on.
3rd Avenue, like I mentioned to you, it's called 3rd at Bankside. 3rd
and what?
3rd Avenue. It's
and what?
It's called 3rd at Bankside. The apartment.
Oh, 3rd at Bankside. Okay. That might be a new building. It might have a lot. It
is fabulous.
Okay, that's probably why. Right, but I'm not paying $9,000 in rent.
Yeah,
$9,000 is
that's a $2 million mortgage.
Yeah.
Let me tell you that.
That's more than that. That's more than that, John.
That's a $5,000 on $1 million mortgage.
Yeah, 5,000. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. You could buy a $2 million house.
Yeah, or you could buy a 4-family friggin' unit, pay $9,000 a month. I'm not doing that crap.
Well, it's like in between Harlem River, so it's right there at the cusp, the beginning of the Bronx, the end of Harlem.
So you know what you.
It's like downtown. It's like downtown Brooklyn. Downtown Brooklyn is absurd. To live in.
Sometimes people get roommates. They get 3 roommates. You know.
Yep. And I don't like that either. Why am I getting all these damn roommates just to live in a little place?
Yeah, that's true.
That's why New Yorkers make the big bucks. That's why New Yorkers pay. Take that out and put New Yorkers pay the big bucks, not make.
Did you hear about the MTA is also trying to charge the racers more money to run over the Verrazano Bridge or any of the bridges?
What racers?
The one that go and
the marathon runners.
What marathon?
The road runners, marathon. When they do the marathon, they close down the Verrazano in November. You remember?
Yeah, I know.
So they want to increase the amount drastically.
To whom? For whom?
For the racers, for the people actually running.
So how they plan to?
Because you have to pay a certain fee, a certain amount to actually.
There's a difference between paying the toll and increasing the fee
They're increasing the fee because they said they're losing money when they close down the Verrazano Bridge and they have to make the money back. So everything goes up. The cost of running is going up. So I guess all you can do is
no, but I miss. Okay, so I miss. Okay, I misunderstood what you're saying. I thought you meant that they were charging the racers money for going over the bridge, and I'm like, how are you going to tax them? But that's included in the fees for racing. So to participate, they're going to increase the fee because of the and it wouldn't be just the Verrazano bridges.
It's all of them.
It would be, Eric Adams reminded us that people complain about congestion pricing. He goes, all I can do is ask for my piece of the pie. MTA, the state owns the streets of New York. All he can do is ask for his cut, and he asked for $100 million from congestion pricing. His words.
So that's supposed to make us feel better?
No, he's saying that your complaint is not with him, is with the state. To make our state.
I don't think people think that the congestion pricing was his thing. No, it was
absolutely do.
Huh?
They absolutely do.
No, it was the governor approved it. The MTA was pushing it. She signed off on it. The federal government approved it. So, it was above his level because he wasn't the one making the decision on saying yes and no.
But many people blame the mayor.
They blame him for everything, right?
That he's pushing congestion pricing. Because they're saying that he stood with Kathy Hochul when she announced congestion pricing. Just like he stood with.
Yeah, he did. He was there.
Right. So if you stand with them, it means that you're in agreement with it. Right?
Eddie, be nice. To bail out MTA. Exactly. This is ridiculous. Every time you turn around, they're giving MTA money on whose back? New Yorkers. And that's why people are leaving. That's a problem.
I don't think I'm gonna vote for Kathy Hochul in 2026. God's willing.
Okay.
I don't think I'm gonna vote for her.
So listen, I have been driving down. I go downtown, I go to Manhattan, I go different places, and I'm noticing a trend. Even in my area, back and forth, you're noticing a lot of for rent commercial properties for rent shut down. Flatbush Avenue, Lord Bakery is shut down. Fisherman Cave is shut down. The fish, so all of
Fisherman's
that.
Cove. Fisherman's Cove.
Yes, Cove, not cave. Thank you. That's shut down. So I'm like, wait, what's happening? That all of these restaurants, not only restaurants, but a lot of businesses are shutting down. That's a problem. That's a red flag. And then to add more to those, hey, what are you saying? Oh, New Yorkers are not paying enough?
No, they're not.
They're not.
According to Kevin, that's where you get paid the big bucks.
Yeah, but the problem is,
Kevin said, let me see, that's why New Yorkers make the big bucks. Let me tell you something. New York is riding close to San Francisco as being the most expensive city.
It is.
San Francisco's the most expensive city.
Yeah, San Francisco is pretty damn high. It is ridiculous in San Francisco. But we are tragically getting close. Tragically. And that shouldn't happen. So I was talking about the migrants, the migrant issue. With
the migrants are the boogeyman now.
Yeah, I was trying
to explain. The migrants crime. The migrants, shit. I'm not surprised they say the migrants didn't invent the nuclear bomb.
Yeah,
the migrants did everything.
The person was saying at the video where's the video? So in the video, the lady was talking about, 4,000 jobs. They're crime mongers. They're illegal. They're illegal migrants. They're pissing on their sidewalks. No, they were pissing in front of her house, on her door, and right. You're right, Kevin. That's exactly what it is. Decent pay, but everything's overpriced. Absolutely. So I was listening to the person speak, and I was just listening for the fear mongering. I'm tired of explaining to people that migrants are not illegal. They might falsely presented a document at the border to say that they need to seek asylum in the United States.
Mhm.
However, they have a time frame in which to prove about their asylum. That's A. An illegal person is a person who comes into the United States
Mhm.
without proper documentation
Mhm.
and stay. So in other words, if you have a visa and you stay in the United States and you don't leave, now you're illegal in the United States. If a migrant overstay, then they become no longer a migrant, but they become an illegal person,
Illegal.
right? So there's a move. But once you're a migrant, you can move towards your citizenship. You get working papers when you come. You get a lot of documentation that an undocumented person doesn't get.
Mhm.
But that's where the resentment comes from, Roger. You know, a lot of people, they've been here, they came here the legal way, and they still can't get their papers and things processed. So
No, they didn't come the legal way. They just been here longer, and they feel like they should be treated the same way. Like, why shouldn't I get? I mean, I've been here for 20 years. Why should you falsify a document, or why should you not falsify a document and come in as a migrant? And they're processing you faster than you. Why can't I be processed? Because I'm doing what I need to do here, being in the United States for 10 years, 5 years, 15 years. That's where the resentment comes in. But now, if I'm saying to people, so like the part of the conversation is this person's like, oh, the migrants are committing crimes. Ladies and gentlemen, for all my fear mongers out there, migrants,
especially Fox News, Fox News, they lead every program with the migrant commit this crime. The migrant did this.
Migrants have committed far less crime than a citizen, a born citizen of the United States. The citizens of New York, of the United States, who live in New York, have committed far more crime than a migrant. Period. Secondly, a migrant will take any job. Any job. Just like an undocumented would take any job. You offer them a job, they take it. That's why they stand at the corner waiting for you to pick them up. They'll go clean your house for a day. Am I wrong, John?
They'll clean it for a day. They'll do a damn good job. But a lot of people exploit them. You know, it's interesting.
Yeah.
You know, they talked about the Purdue factory and how they were looking for the migrants to come and work there, you know, because the labor is far cheaper.
Yep.
You're right. They do jobs that people don't want to do, you know, and then they get upset with, they get upset with them. But I can understand people get upset because sometimes you're jumping the line. I'm here. I've been waiting here, and it's not happening. It's not moving fast enough.
Right. And I don't think it's fair. I think that they have to, and I keep saying this over and over in the show, they have to look for a pathway to legalization for undocumented so that they can be tax-paying individuals. So a lot of them just want to live. They want to be able to go home to Haiti, to Trinidad, to Guyana, to Russia, to wherever they need to go see their family and come back and go to work.
Right.
They live healthy lives. And so there's a lot of resentment for the migrants. That's why a lot of people.
It's the way it's played up in the media. We all know that they, you know, they compounded with one incident, and you know, Trump does. You know, Trump's doing now. I'm doing a press conference, and this migrant killed. I invited the family. You know what I'm just saying? But I can understand.
It's they do basically, John, the fear mongering,
Of
right?
course,
The fear mongering is what
that's
they
what Republicans do.
yeah,
They want to scare you into voting for them.
and a lot of us fall into this trap that they're committing crimes. No, they're not. They are not. The crimes are being committed by people, and some of them happen to be migrants. That's why there are people getting deported, right? Because undocumented commit crime, but undocumented don't commit crime.
So
Young people are part of gangs, but those young people are citizens of the United States.
not
Mhm.
not everybody,
I didn't say all. Nobody says
because you know what? I was reading. What was I reading? Yesterday? I was reading about some of the migrants that came through Texas that they just shipped over. They didn't get to process them, and they were looking for some of the ones that weren't properly processed. There's a couple things that happened. The migrants that was shipped over to Martha Venue, the judge mentioned that now they can sue the bus company that took them over there. Remember, DeSantis was the one who put them on a plane, and then from the plane they took them from there to take them to Martha Venue just to be spiteful. So now
Mhm.
authorized that the migrants have a right to sue the bus company to for what they've done, putting these people all over the place, not knowing anything. Winter just dropping them wherever. So that's one. Then another one,
yes, we do, Kevin. We
the
have unlimited amount of resources. We do where we draw the line. I absolutely, and that's one of the things that we advocate for on the show, right? Better border patrol, better vetting of the migrants, creating a pathway for citizenship for the undocumented, right here in the United States who have lived here for a long time, like some form of amnesty, create some form of equity, right? Before you say that, I want to answer one more thing. What is a sanctioned city? People assume that because New York is a sanctioned city, San Francisco is a
Sanctuary city.
city, right? What does it mean? What it means is that they don't turn you over to ICE. So if you're undocumented, they don't turn you over to ICE. That's what it means. So like ICE, the federal government has no protocol in New York City. So if you're an undocumented, you can get an ID. I think you probably get a driver's license too in New York State.
I'm not sure about that, Roger.
Right?
I'm not
I'm
sure.
not sure, but I think that might be feasible, right? Okay, and that's one time they want to push undocumented to have the ability to vote in city elections,
and that was illegal.
right? The point that I'm saying is that migrants and sanctuary city, they don't necessarily relate to each other because everybody is safe in a sanctuary city. Undocumented or illegal aliens, which I hate that term, right? The migrants, they're all in a same. It's not like if you had an undocumented person and they went to, I don't know, Austin, Texas, where it's very Republican,
Right.
right? You won't have, those people will not have rights.
Same right. And
Okay,
they won't treat you. Yeah, they'll put you in jail.
right.
That's
So,
one
so that's why you have sanctuary cities, right? That's why San Francisco, LA, Detroit, Houston, New York City,
Chicago.
Chicago, and Chicago is getting dumped on like how they used to dump garbage in Staten Island a few years back, John, back in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So one of the things that I do notice is that a lot of the young, where are they getting the guns from? That's one thing.
Who's they?
Some of the migrants that get caught with crimes have been more Venezuela.
Okay, again, the question becomes,
Mhm.
and again, I ask the same question all the time:
Okay,
where are all the guns coming from?
that's the question.
It has. You see, these things have nothing to do with migrants.
No, but where are they getting access to it? That's important.
But it's the same way
just regular people as well too. Regular
Again,
citizen.
access to gun
Yeah.
comes from illegal activities,
Mhm.
knowing illegal people, right? People doing illegal activities, taking part in illegal activities,
You said
living
legal?
illegal.
Illegal.
Okay,
Like
because you kept saying
you're
illegal.
living in a community where violence is prevalent.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Your connection with people is about violence. So if I live in a community like John, when we used to live back in the 90s, right? In the 90s, when we used to go to My 11, well, you went there before me and I went after. It was until then high school, you easily got a gun because as a community that you live in, you knew somebody who could get you a gun. Because
Oh yeah. Yeah.
so
Hmm.
if I live in a rundown, schmucky, piss me ass neighborhood, of
Hmm.
course I'm gonna know somebody who's doing a gang leader,
Hmm.
or somebody who's a gang leader or part of a gang, right? So that's the issue. That's why our young people look at the Trinitarios. The Trinitarios are one of the most violent gangs, but they're Americans and they'll chop you to no end. That they killed that kid in the deli,
Yes.
15-year-old, right? They're Americans. So they live in a violent neighborhood. I had Trinitarios in my school that he had to travel to train every day, and he would be looking over his back like there's no tomorrow. And he was an American citizen. So the same, if it's the environment that you're in that may create these issues.
Mm.
And you're right. They might even know somebody from Venezuela or from Colombia or from any of these countries. You know, look at one of the things that was funny, John. The Prime Minister of AMLO, the President of Mexico,
Right.
said that he doesn't even want to address the cartel issue. He doesn't want
Wow.
to address the drugs issue because he doesn't want to associate himself with the cartel.
Right.
I'm like, are you serious? The
Hmm.
drug trafficking between Mexico and the United States is absurd,
Exactly.
and you don't want to address it.
So
Hmm.
the other day, they actually raided a place in the Bronx and they arrested several migrants with guns that they found with illegal guns. But two of them they held and the others they let loose. So here's the problem. Bail, you find them with a whole bunch of guns. You keep two and then you let the others go. That's a setup. What is that about?
So what's that? What do you mean by setup, Doc?
I was thinking the same thing.
It is a setup for failure. Now, they expect them to, hey, come back to court or whatever. And the two that they actually arrested, they were missing from Texas because they've been looking for them for illegal activities as well. So I don't know.
So one of the things is a lot of migrants, because of rent is so expensive,
Mhm,
they room together.
mhm.
So all three of us, you, me, and John, live in the same house, right? Because we can't afford to live anything differently. It doesn't mean that because I have a gun in my room, right, means that the two of you are
Not
interacting with the
one,
gun.
multiple they
Again,
found. Mhm.
it doesn't mean that the two of you
Are involved in it.
are
Mhm,
involved in it,
mhm.
because they could do investigation and find out that that's not happening, right? Or our involvement is minimal.
Right.
Second of all, right, a criminal is a criminal. I just want to make sure that people understand that. I want to make sure that the viewers understand that a criminal is a criminal. Period.
No, they didn't know that. Come on.
No, I'm just saying that. I'm just telling people that. So, in other
Mhm.
words, if the person's a murderer in Mexico, they found a legal way to enter the United States and they become a murderer in Texas, they're gang related, they're going to try to build up the gang.
Mhm.
Very, not everybody's looking for a second chance, John. Right? Right? They might see an opportunity to gain fame or wealth, infamy or wealth.
Right. Mhm.
And you realize that. So
Mm.
we kind of have to be careful when we label everybody together.
So that happened. A lot's going on. Look at
You
the
know,
earthquake
yeah.
that happened.
Say it again.
I said, look at the earthquake that happened.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I know I'm interrupting you.
okay.
I wanted people to look at the solar eclipse next Monday,
Monday.
right? I know we only have 10 minutes left of the show, so I didn't want to forget that, right?
Okay.
That the solar eclipse on Monday, the next time it will happen is in another lifetime, is in another generation.
No, 20,
Yeah.
40 or something.
24.
But it's
24.
another generation, right? That's another 20 something years, right? 20 years from now that you'll see it. So think about it, John. 20 years from now is a long time. So, but please, necessarily take the right precautions to get out and see it,
Right.
right? You need to have the right pair of glasses because I believe you
And
can go
you're
blind.
into it because you can go blind, like you mentioned. You can.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So I just want to make sure that I mentioned that to our visitor there, our listeners, especially those who are science buffs.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sorry. So you were saying, Dr. Brian.
Okay, I'm gonna come back. I will come back to the earthquake a little later. What I thought was interesting as you were going on about this, but to piggyback on something that we spoke earlier about some laws. I did not even know that New York had an adultery. It was illegal for you to commit adultery in New York State, and if you were caught, that law has been in place since 1907. If you were caught, it's considered a misdemeanor. So
Well,
they reversed that. Actually, they made it legal to actually have, to commit adultery now. But only 13 people actually went to jail for.
adultery.
Hmm.
I didn't know.
And
It's funny. There are a lot of even like fellatio in certain states and cunnilingus are illegal in some states. I did not know that. Right.
19, that law has been in place.
Government in your bedroom. Government in your bedroom. Government in your bedroom.
What you're doing in their bedroom is not their business.
Exactly. That's the same thing with the abortion issue.
They
It's
just
not, it's the right. It's their choice.
Right.
So they just made it a bill that to make adultery legal. It was a crime since 1907.
So whose bill is it?
That's what I want to know.
New
That's
York passed bill.
No. Who passed? Who presented the bill in the state? Like who's responsible? Like every bill that comes out,
Who's the sponsor?
who has a sponsor?
I have to look this up.
Uh,
Wonder why.
Exactly. They usually put a note sheet with it. What was the basis for it? Legislative history.
Oh, it says, John, the next time a solar eclipse will grace the skies under the U.S. continent is 2044, but the next time you see a total solar eclipse.
2025, I think.
No, I'm saying 2044 is the next solar eclipse in United States, but a total solar eclipse will be 2079.
Oh.
Wow.
So 55 years.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be here. I don't think I'll be here.
I don't think you and I will be around that long, John. 55 years from now, that would be nice. I'll be 107. So anyway, the law. I'm trying to see if I can find a sponsor of the law.
Yeah, I'm looking for it too. The New York law was initially implemented to bring down the number of divorce in 1907. Come on, man.
No. The new law. Who sponsored it? To make it legal, adultery legal in the United States.
I don't know.
Well, you can have, but basically, you can have irreconcilable differences. That's the ground for divorce. You don't have to have any other grounds.
Well, they just made that. Well, that was around for a while. But the adultery one and was, I think they came to end with that was like 2013, 2014.
Mm.
So you
And
can't
to
use
what?
it anymore. Like going into divorce to say, hey, you know what, my spouse committed adultery. This is the ground for divorce. They stopped
No.
using.
Yeah,
They're
we
not.
don't have to use it. You know, we have irreconcilable differences you can use
It says a
as
woman from
grounds for that.
Batavia was
And I
last
know all about it because I'm the one who passed it.
Which one?
irreconcilable
The
difference.
one that says you don't need grounds for divorce, irreconcilable differences. You can
When
just
did you
say
pass
alleged irreconcilable. I passed it in 209 or 210.
that? Okay.
Right. So a woman in June 2010 was only the 13th person to be charged with adultery in the state, and when she was arrested for allegedly having sex in a public park.
Well, she was having sex in a public park. Come on.
Yeah. The charge was dropped. She pleaded guilty to public law.
What's wrong with having sex in the park? Do it in the park.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Do it after dark.
It just said it just said the Senate voted for the bill. So somebody in the Senate sponsored the bill.
Well,
Um,
that's interesting. Very, very interesting.
yeah, it is interesting.
Do you know the governor in Texas is in New York fundraising for the border feud, for the border
Really?
crisis? He
Where
is.
is he? Where is he? In Long Island?
Yeah, probably New York City.
Mm-hmm. He has a gala happening.
Yeah, he's in New York City, in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Abbott this evening. Actually, this evening.
You know, what I find to be interesting is that the Republicans make it seem like the Democrats do not want border protection, and
That's what they're pushing.
that's what they're pushing. But it's a lie, right? We all want some level of border protection, and
Security. And here's the problem. A lot of people
Kevin Wright just read a comment about the $1 houses in Baltimore. Even squatters won't live there.
I don't know about that, man. You get some of them squatters, boy, they will fix that house up.
They'll fix up the windows. They do whatever.
Here's the thing. The sad thing is Trump is pushing the agenda that he is the one to fix the border, and Biden is the one who created the issue. And a lot of people are believing that, hey, you know what? At least I have safety if I go with Trump. I actually heard that. I'm like, really? So that's where the border crisis is a major issue.
You know what pisses me off? Everybody talks about Trump as law and order. Man, the way you orchestrated January 6th, people lost their lives, and it was a total disregard and disrespect for men and women in blue. I mean, come on. I mean,
yet still, it's kind of like you're justifying why that was okay, right? Why that was okay.
Correct.
Because we're protecting our country. Listen, you killed Jonathan. You killed Jonathan Diller 2 weeks ago. It's a problem, right? You kill any law enforcement officer, it's a problem. I don't care why you killed them, right? Meaning that in the performance of their duty. I'm talking about if they're doing something illegal and they come up to you with a gun and you shoot them, that's different. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
in performing your duties.
Yeah, in performing your duties, it's wrong. You're at the Capitol protecting the Capitol, and boom. And many of them were killed, and some of them committed suicide after the effect because they were traumatized.
Yep, correct.
And one thing about the like you said, John, you watch Fox News, you get capitalized a lot. I like real news, and I tell people listen to all of the news, know what is happening. And Eric Adams said something
What did he say?
this week,
About the
which
subway
was
being safe?
no. Yeah, he spoke about the subway, but um, but what he talked about is read deeper. Just don't read the headlines,
Right.
right?
Correct.
A lot of us spend time reading the headlines and not know everything about what is happening. And so that's squatters and standards too. Kevin, you're on a roll. I just want to take time out now, just to say thank you again to everyone. I'll be out of the hospital hopefully within a week. And John, I don't know if I missed any birthdays. I know today was Zenobia McNally's birthday. I don't know if I missed any more. But if I do, happy birthday to anyone that I missed. John, Joanne, any good on welfare? Start with you, John.
Once again, Roderick, to my co-host, Dr. Brian, thank you very much for a good show as usual. I apologize for my tardiness. I'm taking some classes in the evening, but I'll make sure, I'm here on this show, The Village, because I think it's so important. The knowledge and the wisdom, and most of all, the information that being disseminated, I think it's very helpful to our villagers. So have a good night and God bless.
Thank you, Dr. Brian.
Be safe out there. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Love your family, your friends. Tomorrow's not promised. So, you know what? Make the best of it. Good night.
Yeah. Amen. Amen.
To all of our villagers, to all of our listeners, thank you so much for sharing, participating on The Village, where we are dedicated to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life through education, helping each one of us in realizing our dreams at any age, at any point, starting from today. So where success is not just spoken, it is done. Again, please like, subscribe, and share our show. God bless each and every one of you. On behalf of the entire staff of the Village Radio Talk Show, I'm Roger Daly, your host. Joining me is Dr. Joanne Bryant, our co-host, and John Sampson, our co-hostess, and John Sampson, our host. So on behalf of Andre and Sophia, God bless. Have a great evening.
God bless.